Greetings, YouTube. Happy Monday. It has been a couple days since we saw an offer because we haven't seen anything since the February daily or monthly cards, depending on what you call them. And we saw one of the most confusing and, dare I say, just dumb Odin offers we've ever seen, where you get some 6-star shards and a legendary crystal. So let's hope that this is not a legendary fiasco like the last one, because first and foremost, it is only available to those of you who are uncollected. So you limit 3 per summoner, which usually is kind of a tip on what to expect. But let's start with the Tier 4 Catalyst bundle. 2 Tier 4 class Catalyst crystals, 4 Tier 4 basic, 12,000 or 1/3 of a Tier 2 alpha, and 200,000 gold. Now, Tier 4 Catalysts used to be crazy rare. I remember the first time that I was in a Map 5 alliance that had such a high prestige and scored so many points in Alliance Quest that we actually got a full Tier 4 basic every week in rewards. And that to me was like getting a Tier 5 basic. I was like, oh my gosh. So I could do a month worth of Alliance Quest, and that means I can take my next 4-star up to rank 4. That's incredible. What could be better than this? Now it's funny to look back on that and just see how far the game has evolved. But my big takeaway from these Tier 4 Catalyst bundles, when they pop up, and they only pop up a few times a year, is that really, if you want to get people to go for this, especially middle tier players, because let's be honest, it's not the in-game players this is targeting, it's more beginners to intermediate players, you really should utilize what is already available in the game. And that is the Tier 4 Class Catalyst Selector, where for $30, you can say, okay, $15 a piece, I'm going to get to select the class of my choice twice. We see this in the Black ISO store, for example, with other tiers of catalysts and class catalysts every week. So we know it's possible. We know it's often. It's just they don't want to do it for Tier 4s because they can make a lot more money trying to get you to gamble, because chances are people who go for this, maybe you want to take, I don't know, Blade to rank 5, and you really, really need a skill catalyst. Well, how many times do you think over the years I have seen people spend $30 and not get it? But that's why it's like putting another $100 bill in a slot machine. That's why it's limit 3, because you're going to try to get that one skill, and you're going to open those 2, and you're going to get, I don't know, a cosmic and a mutant, and so then you're going to throw another $30, and suddenly you've spent $90 just to get one skill Tier 4 class catalyst, and that is anti-player and pro-kabam, and not at all what I'm going to endorse. So I am going to give this a generous D-. Why is this not a failing grade? I don't even know if I have a good reason. Maybe I'm being too generous. Maybe I should just get a flat F. But regardless, it would be at least a C+ to B- for this price if it was a Tier 4 class Catalyst Selector. It's not, so we are moving on to the $70 bundle. YouTube, that is a much higher price tag than usual, but, and there is a big but in this, we have seen traditionally for $50 it be a decent deal to get 9,000 Tier 5 basic Catalyst fragments. If you do the math, that would mean it would be $100 for 18,000 Tier 5 basic. To get 22,000 Tier 5 basic, or exactly 1/2 of a fully formed Tier 5 basic for $70, which would then put the price tag of a fully formed Tier 5 basic at $140, and you can buy 3 of them. So, okay, first off, I am not saying you should, right? I am not saying that this is a good deal. $210 without tax, and this is American dollars, so of course if you're in Canada or Australia or New Zealand, etc., you're going to be spending a lot more money on this than Americans. But I'm just talking about what we've seen in the past. I do a historical reflection, a historical precedent for past offers. That is my job as the offer review guy of MCOC. And this is on a non-July 4th Cyber Weekend deal, which you have to throw those out because they're once-a-year outliers that don't come around at all, but during those times. This is the best deal we've seen for Tier 5 basic Catalyst fragments. And so I wish, because Tier 2 alpha-wise for $70, you should get 2. If this was 22,500 Tier 5 basic and 2 fully formed Tier 2 alpha, which would be pretty amazing because you need 6 Tier 2 alpha to take a 5-star to rank 5, and let's be honest, this is a 5-star rank 5 bundle, essentially, I would be inclined to give that at least an A-. But because it's just one tier 2 alpha for $70, I'm going to actually downgrade it to a B to like the smallest amount of B plus, like an 87 or an 88, 85 to an 87. This does pass my test for purchasing power. Now, it's a high price tag, $70. I cannot say that enough. We're so used to saying, like, throw an Odin at it. That's a crazy thing to say. Do you know people who don't play this game, if they just heard throw $100 casually at a mobile video game, the kind of red flags and alarm bells that should be going off in their head? And I've seen it from family and friends because I've said the same thing in the past, and they remind me, like, that is not normal. How addicted are you to this game? And then, of course, my response is, you have no idea. So, $70, the best we've seen for Tier 5 class catalyst, or not class catalyst, excuse me, basic catalyst fragments. But it's kind of pretty dang cheap. Tier 2s have cost $33 to $35 a piece in deals before, so there should be 2 of those. There's not. Also, gold, kind of cheap. Should be about 750,000 gold given the price tag for this. But it's the best Tier 5 basic catalyst fragments we've seen, so that's really going to be a takeaway and probably the headline of this. I still want you to know that you need to be as responsible as possible because a couple $100 on this, unless you've got that 5-star that you know is going to clear more than $200 worth of content to save you that much worth of revives, potions, etc. Might buy 1, but certainly not 3. Anyhow, thanks for watching YouTube. Have a good one. This definitely passes my grade. The right one, D-, really an F. The left one, B to B+.